Good morning, and welcome to your Business and Digital. Super excited about today's show. We have an amazing guest with us. Good morning, Eric. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, doing great. Thrilled to join. Thrilled to be here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Rest of the team, how you guys doing this morning?
I'm glad. Look, we got another man. We missed Michael for this today, but hey, we've got another man to balance us out on this show today, don't we?
There we go. That's so inappropriate. I love it.
That's
Let's
how
start.
we. That's how we roll. That's
How
how
we
we
roll.
roll.
Good morning, and welcome to your Business in Digital. This is the show where we talk to you about how to really translate your business to digital. We get that it's daunting, right? There are a lot of things that are happening out there, but this is what we talk about on this show. We bring together sales, finance, marketing, operations. And of course, today we're bringing in our favorite guest for SEO to really talk to small businesses that are looking to scale their businesses, CMOs, marketing directors that are looking to outsource for digital marketing, and for CFOs who are simply like, we keep signing off on these dotted lines, but we want to understand more about digital, how to get that ROI, and how to really make those businesses grow. This show is for you guys. We help you get to that place from likes and follows all the way to money in the bank through digital marketing, all the activities that you're doing, because we understand that you're spending a lot of money on it and you need to see that return on investment. So always excited to be here and do this show. Of course, we're going to go into our recap from Monday. I'm going to bring Michelle to the stage because Michelle, last week was not even last week, it was Monday, the recap, the show was awesome. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about that and what we talked about on Monday and give our quick recap.
Yeah, we do our 7, our 7 at 7 that we do here. And this week was talking about moving our prospects through to customers and converting them. And so we first started with defining our target audience. We know that that is one of the key things that we need to do first before we walk into anything. Who are our people and that we want to talk to? And then putting some stake in this and defining what our qualification criteria is for the people that we want to invite into our world and to service and to assist. The third component is, yes, again, a system is needed. What is your system for lead qualification process, including some automation so that you can become efficient? Remember, we're talking about scaling our businesses and moving our businesses forward. In order to do that, we need to up our game a bit. And instead of having just simple forms and doing things by hand, we need a system to make that happen. And fourth piece, we're bringing the human component back into the space where we're going to nurture our leads. We know our community is really important, and that interaction and engagement is going to be key in order for us to bring people in, get them to know, like, and trust us, and move them farther along in our customer journey process. Back to numbers. Number 5 is utilizing our lead tracking and analytics to always do our pulse check, understand that where we're starting from is the right place as we're moving down the customer journey, understanding any triggers, any changes in that time component, understanding what that is, and being able to be fluid and change as needed based upon where our tracking and analytics place us. 6 is establishing that communication channel, meeting our clients where they are because their entry into our world is not a linear place. And finally, make sure that we do pulse checks to test our clients along the way and ensure that they're really ready to make that next move, because it does require a bit of transparency, a lot of vulnerability for them to move into our space, for us to help them to move their business forward to that next space. So.
That's a great recap. I think the show on Monday was really good, especially when we were, before that, you, Andrea, and I were talking a little bit about when people are moving through that funnel and when they don't get to the end, and what are the things that are happening. And that lead qualification, so important, because when you have the right person coming down the journey, it becomes the ideal client and the business is just better all around, right? We do not want everyone, and then we always want to consider, Michelle, you say this all the time, people disqualifying themselves.
We need to allow in this process for our clients to qualify themselves out of the process, disqualify themselves, and then for you to comfortably move them along and qualify them in. It is a two-way street. Just as they are pulse checking to make sure that they're good for our business, we are inviting them into our space. They come to us. We are bringing them into our world. And it's imperative that we really understand everybody's not our client. There are specific people that are great for our business that will help us to move our business forward and scale to the place that we want to scale up to and move and grow our business. It's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence.
Right? Isn't that true, Eric? It's so crazy because a lot of times we're thinking, sometimes businesses are thinking, hey, let's take everyone in, but you got to qualify and you got to be able to say no.
Yeah, so sometimes a business isn't a good fit for your business, and I think a really good marketer knows when to say, like, this isn't in my core, competency in that regard. Tomorrow night, just a few minutes ago, we're having a conversation about a client that we are pondering, is it part of our core competency? So, and are they a good fit? And so I think, like when I first started my first agency, way back, my first time I had my first agency was way back in 2006, actually. And I remember back then, I was so desperate. I had, I was a young, buck, whatever, and but I was having dry cleaners as clients, and it was just like sushi restaurants, and just really kind of like really having the hustle. And there's really no rhyme or reason to the kind of clients. But now it's like, when I look at like who I want to work with, it's like, okay, I know that like my skill set works really well with businesses of this size, and this is because I need tool sets of this size in order to generate meaningful returns. And so if a business doesn't fit within that box, I know it's not a good fit for me. I know who I can refer it to. But I think, like, when you're, as a business, when you're interviewing marketers, it needs to be like, what businesses do you work best with? And that's when we talk about like success cases, and white papers and stuff like that. It's always asking for those examples. So if your business looks like it's one of those businesses where they've had tremendous success, then you're with a good marketer. You're with a good fit.
It's really hard to follow that now. I feel like it's really hard to follow that. But the part about the process that I appreciate and I like, I feel like it allows for customers that qualifying themselves piece I like, because it takes some pressure off of you too, as well as the business owner, to have to say that complete sentence that Michelle keeps referring to. Customers should be able, through the process, to see, one, how serious you are, what type of business you are. They should get a sense from going through that lead qualification process. It could be as simple as the questions that you ask leading up to your consultation call. They should be able to get a sense of, oh, okay, well, it's this type of business, and it may not, I don't think this is what I was expecting, so and they could probably bow themselves out, right, and avoid you having to, and it takes a pressure off of you. So that, for me, that is the part of the process that I think is critical for business owners themselves, to see whether, I don't think I am ready, as a customer, to say, I don't think I'm ready for this level of person just yet, but let me come back to them when I think that I am, when I could meet the criteria. That's the part for me.
I love what you just said of just yet, because there is a component of this journey when we're going through this. We mentioned last week, and probably 4 or 5 other shows. So if you're listening now and you had not listened to the other shows, go back and listen. We have a number of them that will be relevant to you while they stand alone. They do tie together, but sometimes they're not ready for your business now. And there's a maturation process to their business that will require them to bone up and level up to the place that you need to be, where you can then lean in, grab their hand, and then move them to their next phase as well. And that's a place that we have to be comfortable with. And when we're doing the qualification process, it helps us to reevaluate and to reconfirm what we want for our businesses, as we are confirming they're the right fit for our business as well as a client.
All right, you
Perhaps
got
that wine last night did do me right.
All right, so great recap, but we have some stuff that I have to do. All right, great. So guys, if you are watching the show, you have to share the show. You got to connect with us. You got to tell people about the show, okay? So tell small businesses that are looking to scale their business and take it to the next level, tell them about this show because this is going to be helpful for them. If you know a CMO, a marketing director, someone looking to outsource their marketing to really get a hold of what is happening, they understand some of the strategies out there, but they need stuff implemented, definitely have them watch and listen to the show. If you know a CFO out there who's been just signing off on things and saying like, I don't get this digital thing, this is the show that they need to watch because we can really help them understand how to grow their business through digital, how to see the return on investment, and really help them get to that place of measuring all that's necessary in digital to, again, get to that money in the bank, right? Because that's what's important. So check us out on YouTube, subscribe. One of our goals is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year and really try to monetize YouTube. So subscribe and actually watch the videos. They're awesome. You will love them. They're all broken up in chapters for you. So it's very cool. You could skip around, check out these videos. If you are not on YouTube, that's all right. And you're hanging out on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, follow the page, Your Business in Digital. We want you to check us out there as well. And if you prefer podcasts, we are everywhere podcasts are found, right? So we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Amazon, and we are on Google. We're in all the right places. So the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is if you are doing digital marketing, if you have an online presence, if you have a website, if you're doing social media, whatever you're doing, I want you to take this quiz, right? It's important that you take this quiz because it helps you to test the effectiveness of your online presence. What does that mean? Are you driving revenue? Are you seeing the return on investment from all the efforts that you put forth with your digital marketing, your digital infrastructure? This quiz is going to help you kind of get a little bit of a blueprint, help you understand where you are right now. Many businesses we talk to just don't understand their current state. And before you can really start doing additional activities, you need to understand that current state. Where do I stand? Do I have a strong online presence? Do I have a weak online presence? Do I have a medium online presence? Each one of those, there's an opportunity to grow and do something, right? No matter where you are. So take this quiz, test the effectiveness of your online presence. I like to say it 3 times: take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. All right. So see, guys, Michael would have been proud. I got all the homework out of the way.
And we'll be able to say that later. We did do right, and we did make sure we covered everything he's looking for. So we're good.
We are so good, right? So, all right. So we are, how did this happen? Nia, what are you doing here this morning? I'm going to remove Nia from this. Nia's in production behind the scenes with us. Sometimes stuff happens. We're live. All right. So we're moving on to my next favorite segment, which is the hot topic segment. All right. Okay, so I touched the buttons entirely too much. So the hot topic segment. So Michelle, let's jump in and talk about it. What are we talking about today? Hot topics.
Well, amazingly, and it's so apropos that Eric is with us today, because this one is actually speaking to, in conjunction with what we did before, scaling up our business and with customer personalization. It was interesting as we were pivoting from the last show on Monday, and I was doing my follow-up. I ran across an article from McKinsey that spoke about the importance of personalization and how it can make or break the client journey, delay or speed up that process pending the amount of time that we're spending on understanding our clients and where they fit in the client journey as they're moving through. So one of the things said is that when we are looking at this, that it can really improve our conversion rate if we understand the whys behind everything for the client as well as for us and what that means to us. And in looking at that information for those, and I'm saying scale up, and you've noticed for our community that's listening, we keep saying that because that is where we are, where we're looking to take our clients at this place. But as we're looking at it, Andrea, you'll love this piece. Tamara, if you don't mind moving to the next slide, where we talk about that it can actually reduce your customer acquisition cost. Now, normally the sales girl and the pricing girl over here wouldn't mention that first. I would typically lean into that later, but it resonated quickly with me, this one piece, because it's saying, know who you are, know who your clients are, cut the chase of things, and then capitalize and escalate what that is so that you can meet their need and meet it faster. So it's not speed dating, but it's saying, let's move the crazy out of the way and let's get to the heart and get to know me, so that we can move this business a bit further. And once you do that, Tamara, move to the next slide. What we will find out from that point is that it is going to increase your sales. It is going to increase their loyalty to you and coming back to your business because you are anticipating their needs, you're understanding what's going on for them, you're speaking to them in advance, and that's going to help them to come back to you, buy from you, upsell from you, recommend you, because you are speaking to them. And that's key. One of the things that we've said in prior shows is that one of the COVID escalated the ability for us as a buying community to learn about so many other businesses that are selling like products that many businesses have. Therefore, the loyalty aspect is not as great because they're bouncing around learning about other products that they were never introduced to before and didn't have so much access to before. So understanding and personalizing the experience is imperative for the businesses to survive, not become extinct, and to not just survive, but to improve and to grow. So if you move to the next slide, what does this mean for us as small businesses? There are a couple of points here that I thought was key for us to understand. And it is, again, use the data. We're back to data again. Identify your client's behavior, understand the propensities. What do they want and need? What pain are they in? What is their need that they have so that you can meet that? Now, anticipate that need and use details from your client personas when you build your target audience information so that you're able to understand what their triggers are and allow them to, again, take their hand, move them through this client journey process. Third piece is that content is great and you need it, but your timing needs to be excellent as well. What that means is delivering something when they need something. So if they're shopping, delivering something to them that is a cross-sell that might be a good companion to what they're seeking in a service or a product. If they've left something in the cart and as we spoke to on Monday, got a little distracted and didn't get to it, then that remarketing, send that text message to them with that item they left in the cart to as a reminder of, yes, it's available to you. Don't forget it's there. And understanding that that's not 2 weeks from now necessarily, but within a shorter booking window that you've identified because you read the data and understood the data. And you have a marketer like Eric around and Tamara around to help you to figure this out. And for the final 2 points, there's 2 more. If you don't mind, let's go back in. I think there's 2 more. The other is just, when we're delivering this, don't be all crazy and spooky. Deliver value while you're retaining that trust. So we understand that you're going to follow me around. I've given you my information, but don't make it crazy and don't make me not trust you. Deliver value. And because they're giving this information to us, we now know what they need. So we're delivering something that's important to them that will make them want to pay attention to us. And most importantly, everything just does not happen here on these interwebs. You do need to have an offline interaction, but make sure when you're doing that there's a seamless, there's a through line from what you've learned from them online. Take that offline and make sure that you pull that information together so that it makes sense and that it's not disparate information. So that is.
I need to give you some booms. That was a good hot topic. I love the idea of personalization. And I mean, the coffee just did it, right? So that picture, I just had to, when I saw it, I was just like, that kind of makes sense, right? It connects all the dots because everyone loves their coffee different. But I think you're so right. That personalization really helps you get to that place of better conversion, right? Building that loyalty. And then once we get that trust built, right? What do we do with it? I think is also an important piece. And I love that you leaned into that. What do we do with that trust when we get it? Are we going to continue to let them trust us, or are we going to abuse it and then lose them? So it's really up to us as the business to understand, what does our customer journey look like before, after? How do we keep them in a way that makes sense? And, letting people know that you know who they are is important, because as customers, we want to be seen and we want to be heard. That's everyone's thing, right? I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to know that you know me, Michelle. Do you know my middle name? Okay, I'm just joking. But you really want that feeling that the business is connected with you. So this was a great hot topic. I loved it.
It is so funny. It is so funny that we had this topic this morning, because literally just before the show, I did my usual thing of going into our Google Docs and looking for the document where we have our notes. And as I open my drive, the thing says Google Drive is telling me, here's the document that you usually access at this time. And I was just like, wow. And that's what you were just talking about, that customization and understanding my behavior. So to recognize that between the hours of this to this, I usually access this document, which is what I usually do. Just before the show, I go in to see if anything else has changed, what is in there. And I was like, oh, look, you're right. I was like, oh, you're right here. Click. I was like, oh, I didn't have to look for you this morning. Because it says I was blown away. And this is exactly what you're saying. It's those little things that I guess enhances the experience and makes the customer feel more comfortable. So I guess I got to see it in actually live.
Definitely. Well, I agree, Michelle. You had a lot of really great stuff there, a lot of really great tips, and it's been really fun. I have a sibling who she's been building. She's a silversmith, and she has an Instagram channel where she does all of her silversmithing, making jewelry, all that fun stuff. And I've been helping her, just kind of like consulting and guiding her as she's been like building out this kind of hobby into a company. And she actually finally incorporated this past month, which has been very exciting for her. But one of the things is just really kind of taking her through, like, obviously, like she needs, as far as, like a marketing weapon, she needs a slingshot right now, and I'm a nuclear weapon. So I'm not the right fit for her, but but I've been able to guide her through these steps. And it's been one of those things is one of the things that I made her do basically almost a year ago, actually, because she's been doing this for a few years, and she's just finally to the point where she's incorporating because she has enough sales now. But where she's future, she knows what she wants to offer her customers in the future. So she knows, for instance, we bought the URL over a year ago. The URL has been redirecting to the Instagram account. Now she's finishing building her website. So soon that redirect from the Instagram is going to go to her website. She's been collecting emails slowly as people have contacted her, because she is going to eventually have an email campaign. And so it's understanding that these are the things that you want to offer people as you talk about personalization and touch points. Just because you're not doing it today doesn't mean you can't plan for it tomorrow. And so if you want to have email personalization campaigns, collect the emails, collect people's phone numbers with the understanding of how you're going to utilize that. So have a good plan. It's like every time I'm on your show tomorrow, it's like, what is your end goal? So again, where do you want to be in the future, and how do you build to that? Because when you're finally ready for email personalization campaigns, you don't want to have all that ready and have 0 emails for customers. You want to actually have an email database, basically, or email list you've already built. So know where you're going and know what you want to eventually offer, and build the proper foundation for that right now. And slow and steady is good.
Hey, man, first, Tamara, before you come, I just want to applaud that you have a sibling that is actually going to listen to you in a professional manner, because, hey, you know how this goes. Just have all 3. Doesn't work that way all the time. Hello, Jennifer, Andre, and Desiree. Talking to you.
Well, I have other siblings that don't listen, that have. But this sibling, she actually worked for me in marketing years ago. She was one of my link builders way back when. And so, so she knows that her big brother knows what he's doing in that regard, but she's very methodical. And so that's what I've loved is, we've been building this, she's been building, like, I've been giving her advice, but, she's been building this now for a few years, and it's finally to the point where, she had this past weekend, she had over $500 in sales, which is really exciting. And, it's like really beginning to take off. And so, but it's been really fun, kind of like really watching a micro business as far as when I'm concerned, in a sense, and just really watching that, like, from complete inception now to setup. But again, like she's really ready, like when she starts doing emails, she already has a good email list. And so it's really exciting to see that.
Well, guys, we love that. And for all of you, those that have siblings that listen to them, I'm a last child. My siblings are like, what do you say? Do you even exist? So kudos to my nieces and nephews. Oh, all the shade. So Dana is saying, agreed, Eric. Dana is here with us. Good morning, Dana. How are you? Really, really great hot topic, Michelle. We love this conversation. Super excited about that. All right. So moving on now, I used to pay a little special tribute this morning. We're moving on to our go beyond the like section. And, on Monday, I talked that we were supposed to have Dr. Joseph here, and I'm super excited that Eric was able to step in. Dr. Joseph and her family, I just want to really, extend our condolences to them. Such a great friend of the show, such a great friend in general. So we know we are thinking about you, and Eric is here, and he will do his best to step in and help us out. So thank you so much, Eric. All right, so we're moving on to our go beyond the like section, and super excited about that because this is the section talk about how do we move beyond the likes and follows, right? These are where the strategies come in, because a lot of times when people hear digital marketing, they're thinking about social media. When they hear digital, they're thinking about social media. So we want to get them to that place, go beyond the likes, go beyond the follows. And Eric today is going to talk a lot about what we love the most, new SEO trends, how AI will change search. And it was so funny because when Andrea was talking, I was just like, that was AI that was happening there with Google, right? So it was just like, perfect conversation to lean into and start talking about AI. So Andrea, you open the door, and Eric, we're going to give you the floor to jump in and let's go.
Yeah, I kind of want to have a conversation a little bit about this, and so please feel free to jump in. I apologize. This was last minute, so I don't have everything fully kind of fleshed out.
You're here. You're fleshed out. It's all good.
But one thing that's been really exciting. So I've been doing SEO for a very long time. It's so funny. Like I feel like such an old timer now when I talk to people. I have direct reports and marketing teams, and a little while ago I had this team. All these kids were, and they are kids now to me, like were recent graduates from UW. And they were in a kind of huddled about by their cubicles. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, oh, we're talking about something that the older generation really doesn't get. I was like, oh, I'm not older generation. So I was like, no, lay it on me. Then started talking. I was like, no, you're right. I'm dipping out of this, And so I've reached that point in my life where I realized, okay, I've been doing this a while. Like my first SEO campaign when I really started actually really diving into SEO was 2005. And so we're talking that's 18 years ago now. And I taught myself how to hand code with HTML. That's how I built my own website, and that was back in the 90s. And so, I've been in this a while, and, for a while, I will say SEO got kind of boring. And Tamara, I think, you and I have talked about this a lot, where it's like, this is what SEO is, like just, like experience first, eat, all that kind of fun stuff. But back, oh man, because I made a name for people who don't know, I made a name for myself in the SEO world back in 2007 when I beat out Walt Disney World on the term Disney tickets. And that's because when SEO is a bit more of the Wild West, you're able to do a lot of fun stuff. And I did some fun stuff, and I beat out Disney on the term Disney tickets. And it was a lot of fun, and it was crazy shenanigan times. And I like I said, I kind of made a name for myself at search that at that moment in time. And it was really funny because the company I was working with was a third-party reseller of Disney tickets, and Disney was like, "Oh crap, we have to really watch this stuff now." And Disney redid all their contracts with third-party ticket sellers to consider organic search terms after that. And so, and now obviously a lot of people look at that now, but again, SEO is kind of flatlined in a lot of ways where, Google doesn't want people gaming the system and completely understand that. And Google wants there to be, this level of professionalism and competency and all that kind of stuff that kind of factors into kind of how SEO works now. But with the way in which search is going to change and what we're going to see search change over the next few years, it feels like it's 2005 all over again for me, where I'm like there is a massive opportunity coming for first movers, in the sense that if your brand can adapt to this AI search and how search is fundamentally going to change, then there's a large opportunity to kind of basically be number one again. And it comes down to this consultative search that when you look at like how search, when you look at Bard, and I don't know how many people have used Bing's AI search that uses GPT, but Bard and GPT now, it's going to be more conversational, where you go to AI and you basically speak to it or ask it questions, and you say, hey, I really want a romantic restaurant to take my partner to tonight. And they're going to use all the data points they know on you. They're going to know how long you've been married. All the kind of creepy deep data stuff. And they're going to, instead of offering you 10 links, they're going to say, I think you should go to fancy Italian place, .com, or fancy Italian restaurant 2 miles from your house. And that's what I think, that's where I think you'll enjoy, and that you guys should order a bottle of wine on the menu, and basically be able to tell you kind of the experience that you should have, or they'll give you a list of maybe 3 choices of experiences you should have. And then the AI will also place a phone call and make the reservation for you too. And so when you look at that, you're like, okay, cool, it's making all these recommendations, but how is it making these recommendations? And that's what it comes down to, is there needs to be a fundamental shift in the kind of content that we're delivering on our websites. And this is something Tamara and I have been talking a lot about. This is, I want to help Monivon have a really good product that they can offer their clients. And so it's something I've been spending really almost 8 hours a day reading right now, like going into really, and kind of going back into the fun SEO forums of the world, and talking with all my friends around the world as we kind of try to figure out like where and how do you shape, again, AI's perception of what is the most, what is the best, what is the fanciest, what is the most romantic. I'm going to stay on this anniversary thing. I love, think about my partner. So and what are these things like how will AI interpret an experience? How will AI interpret quality? How will AI interpret value? And so a lot of that comes down to things that maybe you have dismissed a little bit, which is, again, reviews, so testimonials. So it comes when I was on before, we talked about experience, authority, trust. And you kind of actually need that extra E now. So expertise, experience, authority, trust. So expertise, those are reviews. So again, what are people saying about your product? So when you go on Google reviews, when you go on Yelp, when you go on TripAdvisor, what terms are people using? So this means that maybe you start to guide or lead your guests into the kind of reviews that you want from them. So saying like, listen, if you think this is the most romantic dinner you've ever had, please leave us a review about how we helped this dinner be romantic. If you thought that this was the perfect review for your anniversary, leave a review about how we helped your experience. So that kind of means you got to start personalizing your review requests in some ways. Exactly what you've been talking about, Michelle.
It is. Right.
So, and then, okay, so that's expertise. Experience, again, how's your website built? Is it, again, are you following like the best practices? Are bots and humans able to easily navigate it, find the information, all that fun stuff? Authority, again, do you have deep content on all of your products? So for instance, like if you are a fancy Italian restaurant, do you have really great descriptions on all of your wines and your wine offerings? Do you have really great FAQs on all of your pages about if special occasions, about the different offer, again, and don't just say special occasions, about anniversaries, about weddings, about all that kind of fun stuff. Then trust, again, how are you then packaging that up and along with like your links as far as who's linking to you? So when we think about trust, you got to think about like websites that the search engines trust. So like earned media, can you Can you maybe try to get your local newspaper or news station or someone else, like some of these websites that Google trusts a lot, to do maybe stories on you? And again, getting like, so think of it almost like a classic like awareness campaign in that sense. Because what you want is you want to show this 360 thing of expertise, experience, authority, trust, so that when AI is looking to consult and deliver up what they think the best, the most, the whatever, it comes down to you have these 4 things that are serving this up on a platter with context and information that the AI can then recommend easily. Because if you don't have a comprehensive description of your wines, for instance, it won't know what wine to recommend for the event. And whoever does have a comprehensive wine list will be the wine that it suggests. Is that making sense to everyone?
Oh my gosh. It's like so much sense. Dana's like, ooh, this is so good.
so,
Right?
so,
But
so
yeah,
anyways, that's the big shift. And it's work is what it also comes down to.
Yeah.
Like,
it sounds like also it's kind of like now we need to understand on the brand level what are our adjectives, right?
yes,
So
yes,
before I was really focused on what are my keywords, but now I'm like, okay, what are my
correct.
keywords, but what are my adjectives, right? Is
100%.
Monovet digital romance.
That's a really great way. Thank you for simplifying that, Tamara. You know me. I get so lost in like
Yeah.
the beautiful mind mapping. You know,
right. I'm like, what are our adjectives? And that's it, really the simplified thing. What are your adjectives and what do you want people to say about the business? And I would look at that at the
Yeah.
top level of the brand. But then as you get into the wine listings, right, it's kind of like getting into here are the things that we offer that we know that you're going to like, that connects
Correct.
back to what we talked about being romantic, what our adjective is. And
Yeah.
here are these things. And now giving that an opportunity to really flesh that content out, but also giving it to them in a way where they are going to, the person that's looking at it is like, yes, this is what I want to hear. This language is natural. And I love what you talked about, because this is something we talk about with our clients already. Getting the review that you want, getting the review, giving them, because people don't like to do reviews, right? People people hate doing reviews. When you say to someone, like, could you do a review for me, and walk away, they're like, duh, whatever, right? It's like they have to think, what are the words? Do I have to write an essay? But now you get yourself in a situation where you can say as a business, these are my questions that I need my reviews to answer. And you actually provide the user with the questions to answer. So as they're doing the review, whether it's a video review, whether it's they're using these questions to answer. So those reviews start feeling and giving that information that you need to. So, I mean, this is genius.
It is. Eric, I love when you're here. I really do. Because in the synergies of all of the things that we're talking about with Lanya and my clients, one of the things, all of this advanced building and knowing who you are and what you want, one of the requirements that I have of them is not just asking for a review, but the prompting component of it is what are you seeking? What are you trying to move forward with your business? Prompting them so that they may prompt their clients to ask and answer the call and response to get what they need, because the future clients that they're trying to acquire, their prospects, are wanting those same things. So 100%. Why not assist them in leaning in by serving up to them, anticipating what they're asking for and giving it to them in advance and prompting them and pulling them through to the right place. So, I'm picking up what you're putting down, man, because it is exactly what people want, but it requires us, there's homework for us. We have to know our business and know what we want from our clients so that we can do that prompting and make it easier moving forward in the long run. So do your homework now to make life easier in the future.
100%. 100%.
All I know is I have homework to do. I've been writing. I've been quiet because I've been writing when you have in, because all I know is I have some homework to do.
Yeah, because the thing is Andrea, if you get on this now, like as AI search matures and Google pushes more and Bing pushes you more and more into this consultative search, you'll already be there. You won't be playing catch up. and that's what I kind of want to offer businesses right now is get in front of this. And here's the thing is the great news about this is if you do this, and let's say AI search never takes off, guess what? You've already improved your rankings right now.
Yeah.
It
Right.
is.
There's no work that's going to get done that's not like, oh, you know what, you did this for no reason.
Yes, it's not like building your cafe in the metaverse, where what is it, 38 people are using Facebook's metaverse right now, so it's not. Anyways, don't be the dunk on anyone, but and so, but it's not like that, like all of this will benefit you here and now.
I think one of the what I love about what you're saying that will likely make a few that are listening uncomfortable, and I'm loving that component of it too, is that it's requiring you to think your way through this and not, you can't read somebody's mind in that respect. So that awkward silence is going to be there unless you're serving up. You're doing the homework in advance and providing the person with it through.
But also be realistic with what your business delivers. Have a hard conversation with yourself about your business. Like one of the things is, man, when Tamara and I worked for a company at different times, but same company, we consulted with independent hoteliers. And one of the things that I always found challenging, and even when we worked for the big hotel chain, was the word cheap, for instance. People never want to rank for cheap hotels. And at the big hotel company, it was against our brand guidelines to rank for the term cheap or use the word cheap. But that's how people search. But mind you, if you run a small motel, it might be a cheap motel, and it's okay, but it's like also, but if you're also running a small motel with exterior corridors, you're not going to rank for the best hotel or, the best anniversary hotel, like maybe you don't want to rank for crack hotel. I don't, but like, but also, but knowing your product.
I get you. I get you. Know your lane. Know your lane. It is. I had this conversation literally yesterday with one of my nieces as we were trying to waste time for high school graduation, and she luxury versus not. And I was like, can your pocketbook afford that? So you like that word, but you don't want what comes along with it. So it's are you that person? Are you that person? And are those your brands? Are those your people? And know your lane. And I think because I know that that's our tie between the three of us in that space. Those people still do exist, and they don't like the word cheap, but
but there's tremendous traffic, and that's how a lot of people search.
Exactly. And it speaks to, and then on the opposite side, do you remember the days it was right at when COVID hit and a couple of other things where pricing was a thing? You could not say luxury. Those brands that identify with being luxury, it was a difficult thing for them to put in an economic environment where that people's were on the street, and it was a grave area, so we had to find other words to accommodate that in the search, and to accommodate those that were like, I'm still good with luxury. I'm still good with it, but don't tell anybody I'm still good with it though. That was literally what was happening, and we had to find a way to accommodate it. But if you don't know your business and you don't know what makes the people in your target audience tick, understand that, then you're going to miss it every time. You're striking out every time because 100%. You're not paying attention to what the data is saying and the movement of your people and what's making them lean in or making them say, "Ooh, don't do that to me," or like, "No." So you have to be not just familiar with you, but you have to be intimately involved in what makes your people tick. And it's imperative because you can't find the right adjectives if you don't know what you want, what you need, where you're going, and where your clients need to be in that respect as well.
I
You know,
agree 100%. 100%.
I feel like I'm listening to all of this, and what is coming to mind is almost like false advertising from the perspective of you don't want to rank for that particular word, but in reality that's how you're perceived. And if they come to you and it really is cheap, they will be like, but you're false advertising because you want to show yourself as a more luxurious place, or a high-end motel or a high-end hotel. But then when the people arrive, they're like, but this is actually a cheap hotel. This is not what I searched for, right?
Check
So
TripAdvisor.
Check TripAdvisor, yeah. And you kind of,
yeah,
and Andrea, but what you're also talking about is they didn't feel, they had a visceral feel, reaction. It was an emotion that they attached to it, but it wasn't the reality of what the statistics were saying.
Right.
correct.
Well, I'm going to jump in here and talk a little bit
Yeah.
about social media and how social media has really put us in this place where a lot of people lie, right? Because I mean, everybody's always happy on. So I saw actually one girl cry on social media. Just it's a little weird, but whatever. She did it in a reel. Someone said it was a good idea. Show your emotions, sure. But I think in social media, we learn to lie a lot, right? Because we only put the good thing out front. We learn to when you talk to people about their brands and the illusion of their brands, right? There's really a lot going on there, what they think, what they feel, their emotional connection to the brand. So I think it's really taking that step back to understand, what does my brand do and what does it do really well, and where do we do these things, and really be in alignment with that, listening to your customer as well too. That's what's going to happen. It sounds like it's a customer first exercise. How do they perceive me, and how do I incorporate that back into the brand, right? And then the other thing is that what I love about this is that because AI is pulling all the stuff on the internet, right? It's not yet thinking for itself. I guess once we show it some behaviors, it starts to adapt to our thinking, right? We use Jasper right now, and Michael was telling me the other day that Jasper sounds like me. So whenever they put stuff in, they're like, the word daunting is in like everything. I'm like, that they're like, Michael was like, he's like, what? He said one day they put something in, and then I said it on the show the next day, and they were like, the AI is now Tamara. So AI is learning from us. So what Eric is saying is, take this information, understand who your brand truly is, understand the truth about your brand, understand how your customers perceive you, and then take that information and put it out there and let AI then serve it up. Because if there's nothing else to serve up, there's the opportunity presents that it'll serve your stuff up first, because not no one else, but the rest of the world isn't quite doing this yet, right? The early adopters are, as marketers, we like to think about early adopters. The SEO folks are doing it. So as early adopters, how do we get in front of this? And it's really a shift to what we've been talking about on this show: customer focus first. What do they think? What are they saying? What are their reviews? How does that connect with how your brand is positioned? And that's where the conversation really starts to happen, where you get to the truth of who you are. If your hotel is a cheap hotel, it's a cheap hotel. It's okay, because the goal is to drive revenue, because it could be a cheap, nice hotel, right? It doesn't need to be a cheap, crappy hotel.
Exactly.
Exactly. I agree. And exactly what you're saying there. I had that experience because on social media, somebody advertised their place for rent. We went in and they used the words villa. They used the words that it was a luxurious villa. And when we got there, it was trash, right? It was, I shouldn't say trash, it was just very basic. And I said, but this is not what I was this is not what I expected, right? The pool was one of those rubber above ground rubber pools. And I was like, what is this? Is this a kids' party? Like, and then it wasn't functional. And when we took it up with the owner, they got upset with us. And I understand that in the background, in Airbnb, tried to I think you could rate a customer. You could they rated us poorly, saying that we didn't clean up the place afterwards. And I was like, well, wasn't exactly all the best when we got it. What did you want us to do? Paint it over? Like, I just don't understand. But the words, and we felt cheated, because that is not the experience that we were looking for. That particular weekend, we were looking for a luxurious, chill, nice villa, great view. And what I got was just a very basic, cheap place to stay, which was not necessarily bad, but it wasn't what I was looking for. Now, if you had told me, hey, this is a rust, what is the words that we said they should have used? Rustic. Because it didn't have all the amenities. It didn't, so at least I would have known, okay, we're in for a little roughness because it's rustic, it mightn't have AC. Okay, great. I would know what I'm stepping into. But when you say luxurious villa, we experience, that's not what we got. And it's so that's why I said, it's false advertising. It's a sense of how do and in the person's mind, they think their villa is the best, right? In the area. So yeah, and social media and it's social media once again, because if you look at the pictures, it was one of those things where you take the pictures in just the right light so that you don't see the imperfections. Yeah, it was that.
Yeah, and Andrea, and you're correct. Like if they had advertised it correctly and they had properly set expectations and they were using language correctly, like you would have probably enjoyed your stay. I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy their stay, and they probably would see an increase in bookings. But you're right. If again, this comes down to just have that really hard conversation too, of like, what exactly is my product? Is my product actually the best? Do a classic SWOT, a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat analysis on your products and your brand as part of this. Like use this new shift into AI search to just really take a step back, 30,000 feet at your brand, your customers, your products, and be like, okay, where are the opportunities? Where are the threats? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Like really hard look at it and be like, okay, well, let's turn those weaknesses into strengths. Like again, like above ground pool, it's rustic. Okay, let's turn that weakness into a strength. I think, and if you are looking at that and then you serve up and you create the content to support that, AI consultative search will deliver that then.
Right. And what I like about what you both are saying, it goes back to some of the core foundational things that we spoke about your target audience and their buying persona and the client journey. And what do you need to say to them to trigger them to buy, to self-qualify, for the client testing. All of that, if done appropriately, the words that we serve up are going to allow us to reach the right audience that we're seeking in the most efficient manner, and to get to that end goal that we've been speaking about. Like when this is all said and done, what do we want that action to next be? And if we don't serve up the appropriate terms and words and anticipate it now with this AI that's going through, they're going to start throwing all kinds of people at your business that's not your people. They're not your target audience. So it's imperative that we lean in and say, yeah, take the time, do the homework. As Eric said, he spent 8 hours a day in trying to learn this AI, so that he can understand how to best serve his business and his community. And it requires a little schooling on our side that we have to embrace, because otherwise, that scale up can't scale. We can't get to that place.
Well, I think a really great thing to do, a really great test, is go to ChatGPT and ask the AI what it thinks about your business right now. And I put in numerous friends' websites in it, and it is shocking. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the lack of information or the complete mischaracterization of the business that AI's perception is.
So I just think calling your business your baby.
Yeah.
When people call their business their baby, but I'm like, way to call your baby ugly.
Yeah. But it's like that's what AI thinks about right now.
Put it in. So we're all going to do this exercise. So we're not going to do it right now, but we're all going to do this exercise and we're going to talk about it. Go into ChatGPT and find out what it thinks about your business right now. Dana, I know you're going to do this. We're all going to do this.
And it's a warts and all kind of experience. I have a friend who runs a large content website that's focused on horror news. And there's a caching issue with the website I've been begging him to kind of resolve for a number of years, actually. And ChatGPT doesn't know what his website is. And it's due to this caching error that I've been begging to have resolved. And like, and this is a major website that, you know, a lot of studios rely on and stuff like that. And, you know, when you ask about this website, it doesn't know anything about it because it was not cached. And so it's one of those things of like, oh, wow, like that's, again, a fundamental experience in the EEAT issue. And because the bots were not able to properly crawl it and cache it.
Wow. Tamara, can we, you know, I know we'll see each other later. Can this be a group project over alcohol?
Exactly. So tell us exactly, you're going into ChatGPT and just like drinking her tea like so we're going into exactly, Dana, I was just about to ask the question. Can you give us the prompt for the homework? ChatGPT.
Yeah, I just go into ChatGPT, and it's fun to use 3.5 and 4. I use both. 3.5 is I say ChatGPT 3.5 is like a really eager intern, and ChatGPT 4 is like, you know, a junior employee with about 3 years of experience. You know, is how I look at them as far as marketing goes. But I go into 3 and 4, and I ask them because they're different AIs. That's what people need to know. They are different AIs. So 3.5 and 4 use the same prompt, but I would say, please tell me about website.com. You know, and start there. And they'll either come back with a really great synopsis of your business, your services, the history of your business, how long you've been in business, or they'll come back with some insane, hilarious nonsense. And so try it out.
Point though for this exercise, right? That's really the starting point, because just like when we would start off Googling ourselves, right? Remember when we used to tell people, Google yourself, where do you want to be? And I remember that conversation of Googling myself and then getting to a point where I'm like, okay, cool. Now when I Google myself, I know what shows up, Monovan Digital, the articles I've done. So I have really crafted, you know, using PR, using things to get to the right search. So now we're saying for AI, go in and do the same thing. And the result that you get is actually not a whatever it is, right? It's like almost understanding your baseline for this new thing that is AI. So don't feel emotional about it.
And understand that for 3.5, the data set is set. So it has the entire internet up until 2021. So it is what it is in 3.5. But 4 now has access to the internet, and you can begin to shape it.
Right. And I have a similar exercise with my clients with Lanyap. Not that, but something that requires them to pull back and to put the emotion on pause. And I say, this is a tool. It is not a weapon. And understand that this is here it's a tool to help us to grow, and it's not a weapon to take you down, you know, to take you out. And going with that mental approach, because if you're there with that emotion, oof.
It's just warts and all. Just
objective. Look at it objectively, not subjectively.
It can only change once you start. You know.
I love that. It's a tool, not a weapon. It's not Terminator, people. It's not Terminator.
So Dana's been with us the whole time. Dana's like, you know what? Can you give me the prompt for the homework? And she is going to do the homework. We're all going to do the homework. And could you imagine? We're at 8:00. Eric, so you gotta tell us what any other points, because I mean, I feel like the prompt to go into ChatGPT and put in is genius enough. Anything else that, as we're looking, because what you're and guys, I want to bring this to you. This is brand spanking new, right? This is not happening right now. There's no agency that you're going to go to and they're going to tell you about this. Eric is at the forefront of SEO, in the trenches with all the SEO people around the world figuring it out. So you're welcome. This is what we do here at Your Business in Digital. Okay. We go back to the people who are learning, who are figuring it out, who are coming back to say, this is how it works. And you are getting this here first. So this is not a strategy that you're going to get anywhere. But Eric, anything else that you would say to a small business owner who's looking to scale, a CMO, a CFO looking to understand how these things work. Aside from that prompt, because that was huge, what else would you tell them that they need to focus on to really understand more about AI? Because I think people are so confused and so scared by AI, right? And I get it, but we also see the impact and where it can take our businesses.
So if I were a CMO position in that sense, I'd be like, first of all, I would basically do an AI search SWOT, just like what I was saying before. Like, use Bard, use Bing AI search, begin asking it for the core things about your business, and just really dive into that, and then build a SWOT from that. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And then from there, it's really understanding that everyone needs to go back to it's basically creating a brand new content strategy. And it's kind of getting back to the fundamentals. A lot of stuff Michelle talked about. Again, focusing on EEAT, expertise, experience, authority, trust, as part of that SWOT. And so again, how does your EEAT strategy and your content strategy marry up to where your business needs to be? So it's getting back to some fundamentals, which is really exciting. Again, to me, like this is I'm a kid in a candy store again. It feels like 2005. I feel completely reinvigorated with SEO, and I want to, all I want to do is help some businesses dominate with some first mover advantage, because I think back to, again, beating Disney on the term Disney tickets and how much fun and how much chaos that was.
First mover advantage right here at your business and digital. Eric. We're gonna cheer for you too. Because this, and then just to let people know, this is what we drop in here.
Yes.
This is what happens at this show at your business and digital.
But
Eric,
I will tease everyone that I am, creating a product for Moneyvan, that will leverage this. And so stay tuned. I promised tomorrow by the end of May. It did not happen because this is a moving target that I'm trying to hit right now. And so as tomorrow kind of sees it's beginning to get fleshed out, but like I haven't been this excited about search again since probably 2007 to 2010. Like that was a fun time in search,
So listen, Eric, we are waiting for you. We will wait. We will continue to wait as you bring it up. I understand the nature of the beast. I understand the genius that is happening right now. So I even told my team, I was just like, pull it together, give him to edit. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we'll get it, because I understand the product that you're going to produce. It's something that no one else is going to have. And then we're going to impact our customers in a whole different way. And so we will patiently wait for that, because we're still ahead of the game.
Yes.
Ahead of the game. Eric, thank you for showing up. Thank you for jumping in at the last minute. I know this conversation was so amazing. Michelle, Andrew, what are your thoughts?
It is. I mean, Eric, I told you I was so happy when I saw your name come across, and every time I'm going to have to go back and listen immediately, because this is one of those shows where on the money, man, on the money.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I have my notes I've been writing, the homework that I have to do. But, what the takeaway for me is a takeaway that I want all CFOs to take away. I think the question is, go back to your marketing team and ask the question of where is SEO in your strategy? I'd love for CFOs to do that today and watch marketing people face just drop. Go back and say, SEO is an AI. What are we doing about SEO in our strategy? Can you tell me, and see how significant or insignificant it is in your marketing strategy? I think that's the homework I will leave for CFOs to do.
CFOs, Joe got your homework. Well, this was an awesome show. Dana said, I just did it. She's screaming. Fantastic. We love that. We love that. Guys, we could be here forever. Eric, thank you again so much for jumping in. This was really a great show. I think we all learned so much, and we're all excited to actually walk away from here and go to our computers and Google our and AI. I was about to say Google, but I was about to say AI our businesses, right? Because that's what we want to do for sure. So, all right. So, guys, you know what we want you to do, right? We want you to connect with us. We want you to connect with us on YouTube. We want you to connect with us on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with us on Spotify, Apple, or actually, we're on Google as well, too. So, definitely connect with us if you're listening to podcasts. Also, what we want you to do is we want you to take the quiz, test the effectiveness of your online presence, right? You know, today we gave you another prompt to go in and check out your business in AI. Go to ChatGPT, put that business in there, see what it's saying. But this quiz helps to give you that baseline information that you need for your digital marketing. And then that ChatGPT gives you the leg up to let you know how the internet, how they're seeing you online. So take this quiz, understand where you rank, understand if you have a weak online presence, a strong online presence, a medium online presence. It's really important to understand the baseline numbers. That's really the only way you can really grow or scale your business. So take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. I always have to say it 3 times. I feel like it's not like Dorothy or somebody who does things 3 times.
Beetlejuice. I told you it's Beetlejuice.
It's Beetlejuice. Gotcha. Andre is saying, great show. Andre, thank you for joining us. Guys, have an amazing Wednesday. We will see you back here on Monday. Next week, we are moving to our season finale. So we're excited about that. It's been season 2. It's been an awesome season 2. We've had some amazing guests. We have a great guest at the end. But yeah, next week, we're moving into our season finale. So we are looking forward to that. Summertime is here. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but we will be back and we'll be doing some things in between as well. So definitely listen for that season finale show. Guys, have an amazing day. We will catch up with you. Take it easy. Bye.